One of those players who is subject to the July 15 deadline for a long-term deal, Chiefs defensive lineman Chris Jones, said on social media on Tuesday, basically, if I want to get a long-term deal, I'm not signing the tender, and I'm going to sit out the season. I've spoken to Le'Veon Bell. Bell is the guy who sat out all the 2018 season. Now, there's a difference in sitting out all of the second season of the franchise tender versus the first season of the franchise tender. If Chris Jones sits out all of this season, he can still be tagged next year at a 20% increase over what the tag was this year. If you sit out all of the second year of the franchise tag, the following year, the only way to retain the player's rights via the franchise tag is to give him that quarterback offer. The 5 highest cap numbers in the league, the average of those cap numbers becomes the franchise tender for that third season, something that no one is ever going to do with a non-quarterback, most likely. There may be some exception at some point, some transcendent player who just gets a sack on every play or something along those lines. For the most part, though, teams aren't going to use the third franchise tender on anyone but a quarterback. And even on a quarterback, you're looking at a 44% bump over the second tag. So, long story bearable. If you're going to sit out the full season, it's better to do it in the second year of the tag. Now, Chris Jones needs to remember a couple of things. First of all, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. One thing that is certain is that offer that has been put on the table and the promise of a 20% raise next year. Even if the salary cap goes down, 20% raise next year. The only way he doesn't get the 20% raise next year is if there's some sort of agreement between the league and the union, where the union, for all franchise tag players, says, well, it won't be a 20% bump in 2021. It'll be 10% or 15% or 5% or something else. That's the only way that goes away, is if the fundamental rules of the franchise tag change. And I'm not suggesting they will. I'm just using that as an example of how it could happen. If there is some negotiation over the broader issues that are involved in this effort to try to figure out how to play during a pandemic, and if there is an agreement reached on how to deal with a reduced franchise tag or salary cap for next year, that's a possibility. Possibility, not a probability. Anyway, at a time when there is so much that is impossible to figure out, the smart move would be to go ahead and take that franchise tag, play it out this year, take the 20% raise next year, and then if you have to go year to year for 2 seasons, after that second year, it's going to be very difficult for the Chiefs to use the franchise tag a third time. The most they would do is transition tag a third time, which would be a 20% raise over the second year franchise tag salary, which again would be a 20% bump over this year. The numbers go up very quickly. So I know Chris Jones wants that long-term deal. This isn't an ideal climate to get a long-term deal. And frankly, you got to make your decisions in light of what the climate is. The climate suggests going year to year. Go year to year. It's still damn good money at a time when many things are uncertain.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.